All right. We are in the building, back with another NBA. Look at me, I'm still stuck in the basketball. MLB live stream. That's what we're doing today. We're talking some MLB. Guys, I appreciate everybody who's joining me. My name's CJ Curry. If this is your first time here, hey, think about hitting the subscribe button. If you're a returning viewer, I appreciate those who have already subscribed. Hit that like button for me. Let's run the likes up. I think we could get at least 50 likes by the time we end this live stream. I just want to make sure because I haven't gone live a lot lately. Went live a couple days ago, going live again today. You guys can hear me, see me. Do I look beautiful? Do I sound pleasant? Let me know in the live chat. Those of you who are rocking with me this early morning here on my PrizePicks Flex Friday. That's right. Throw up your guns if you're in the chat. Send a flex emoji if you're rocking out with me on Flex Friday. I got Jamie in the building. Jamie saying hi. Hi back at you, Jamie. Everyday Fantasy, a.k.a. my guy Don P. Don P's back in the building. Don P, shout out to you as well. Appreciate you being here. You're, one of my A1 day ones, Don P, and we appreciate everything that you do for the community. We have a community. In case you guys didn't know, we have a full-fledged community of like-minded individuals sharing their favorite stats, picks, plays, parlays, information, you name it. We're all just trying to accomplish the same thing. Get into that bag, trying to win a couple parlays each and every day. So if you're interested, I've got Dub Club set up. You guys can go check out Dub Club. I just dropped a link in the live chat. You get a 3-day free trial, and then from there, it's as little as 67 cents per day. I'm sending out more picks, plays, and parlays than I can here on YouTube. And I've got a couple of other people set up with their own channels covering things like MMA. We've got esports going on right now. We've got, what else? WNBA going on right now. So we got a lot of different things that we're dipping our toes into over the summer. We're waiting for that NFL season to come back around. It is the dog days of summer, but between baseball, WNBA, esports, we got tennis, we've got hockey, golf, lacrosse even. I mean, we're getting into a little bit of everything. Some UFC. We're going to be just fine until the NFL decides to come back around. Who else we got in here, though? We got 5-star Jay Blix saying, we get in this bag. Absolutely. Brent's ready to make some money. Donovan says, may we all win today. Shout out to you, Donovan. That's the kind of energy that we're looking to bring today to the chat. Christopher, glad that you're here. Hayes, what's up, my brother? How are you? And, of course, Yosemite Grams is here. So, all right. Already sent out a couple of slips to Dub Club members. Those of you in Dub Club, you know what I'm talking about. We already dropped a few plays for you. Let's go take a look at today's MLB slate because there is a lot of baseball games happening today. And whether you like baseball or you don't, there's money to be made, my friends. You ain't got to watch the games. That's okay. It's not as fun to watch as basketball. We all know that. Not even as fun as NFL football, but still, we got to bet on something, right? And I think baseball is the best bet right now. But yeah, we got a total of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 MLB games going on. So we got to check in on the weather report real quick. There are a few games that have a couple of weather concerns. The biggest one looks like the Colorado Rockies at the Chicago White Sox. This one's getting a yellow to orange grade here. Basically, the quick summary of this, according to our weatherman here, Kevin Roth, says it's almost definitely going to rain. He doesn't know yet if the plan is to play through the rain. It's mostly light. Maybe try to find a break in the rain, which is a tough ask, or throw in the towel and play a day when it doesn't rain. So this game has a chance of either A, being fully postponed altogether. They may not even play it at all. Or if they do start the game, hey, don't be surprised if it ends up in a rain delay. So for me, I'm going to try to avoid the Colorado Rockies game, Chicago White Sox game. We want to kind of stay away from that, especially if you're planning on taking any pitchers from that game and you plan on taking the overs. You might be screwed if they end up playing the game goes into a rain delay, and then you're kind of stuck holding the bag. Pittsburgh at Atlanta, though, pretty typical. Atlanta pop-up storms, all moving. So if one goes over the ballpark, it should clear pretty quickly. So this one's not expected to be a, postponement at all. This is going to be maybe some light rains that they could just play through. Cleveland at the Kansas City Royals. Cleveland Guardians, Kansas City Royals. Nasty weather coming into Kansas City tonight, but as of now, all the weather models have storms popping up just after the game, which is good news if you plan on taking any props from the Guardians or the Royals. If that pans out, we would have a dry 9 innings of baseball. Music to my ears. And then the last one, Cincinnati at St. Louis. It's going to start out green, clear weather there, but a few spotty rain showers. But nothing that they can't play through. So they plan on playing through it. So there you go. A little bit of information around the MLB. You got to pay attention to the weather if you're playing any baseball props over the summer, guys, because, you know, the rain, Mother Nature, that type of stuff, very impactful. Even stuff where it's not rain, but the wind maybe is blowing out. That's good news for hitters, bad news for pitchers. If the wind's blowing in, that's good news for pitchers, bad news for hitters. So just some things to kind of keep in mind, all right, when it comes to the MLB. Appreciate everybody in here. Hey, I'm Isaac. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate the sub. If you're not subbed yet, hit the sub button, hit the like button for me as well. Turn on those notifications so that as soon as I drop a new piece of content or go live, you get alerted by the YouTube overlords, all right? We don't want you to miss out on anything. So, of course, we're going to be using the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer here. Let's get this sucker refreshed and updated with the latest odds, the latest hit chance from the various sports books. So if you guys aren't familiar with this tool, the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, in my opinion, one of the most valuable tools that you can have in your player prop arsenal, especially if you're playing on PrizePicks, Underdog, or any of those sites similar to PrizePicks or Underdog, like Better, Sleeper, DraftKings Pick 6, you name it. Why this tool is so important? Well, it goes out there and it basically takes a look at all these different sports books, even sharp sports books like Pinnacle, which is the sharpest sports books that's out there right now. It takes a look at the odds, right? And it lets you know, hey, if we pull the juice, if we pull the VIG out of these odds, here are the chances of a particular player prop going over or going under. It gives you a nice color-coded percentage as well, kind of making things easy for you to understand. So like, for example, the top prop right now, the most optimal MLB prop is Andre Palante of the St. Louis Cardinals. He's their starting pitcher today. His line is sitting at 3.5 strikeouts. So at 3.5 Ks, you got about a 53.7% chance that he is going to go over 3.5 Ks, which means 4 or more strikeouts is more likely to happen than 3 or fewer strikeouts. Now it's a 53.76% chance, which still leaves the door open at about a 46 to 47% chance that he goes under 3.5 Ks. This guy's not a strikeout artist. There's a reason why his line is only 3.5 Ks. Okay? Yeah, sometimes things seem too good to be true, but I promise you that the lines makers who set these lines, they set them accordingly. They know that this guy's not a big strikeout guy. They know that the matchup probably isn't the strongest matchup, and so they set a sharp line. They set the line at basically a 50-50 proposition, a coin flip, so to speak. But we are getting a little bit of an edge, almost a 4% edge or advantage in our favor, just based on the odds pulled from these sports books. So we'll go ahead and start building out our first entry. I don't think that the Flex Friday, oh yeah, there we go. It has gone live. It must have just went live. So we'll opt in. Something new, if you live in Florida like me or in another state where they only offer PrizePicks Pick'em Arena. Some of you guys are like, what the hell's PrizePicks Pick'em Arena? Well, they've got like the OG, normal version of PrizePicks, we'll call it. And then they had to put out this new version of PrizePicks called PrizePicks Pick'em Arena. It's only available in certain states. I happen to live in Florida, one of the states where the OG version of PrizePicks wasn't legal anymore, so they had to get rid of it. They came back into Florida with this new format. It kind of sucks, to be honest with you, because I can't flex anything. It's all power plays. You could go 2, 3, or 4 pick power plays on PrizePicks Pick'em Arena. Can't flex anything, and basically you got to get all your picks right, or you lose. But anyway, I say all that to say they just reintroduced the Flex Friday protected play for Floridians and other people who can only play on PrizePicks Pick'em Arena format. So I'm happy that they did that. For a while there, we weren't getting taco discounts or any type of free squares or any kind of discounts if you lived in Florida or a state where they had PrizePicks Pick'em Arena. For a while there, we weren't getting any sort of promotions or discounts. So I'm happy that they're at least bringing some of this stuff back. They're trickling it in, mixing it in slowly but surely. So yeah, King United, good point. Underdog still has flex. I have absolutely been using Underdog a lot more than PrizePicks. King, I can't tell you how many times, brother, that I have went 3 out of 4 on a 4-pick power play. I can't tell you how many times. Over the last month, 2 months, since this PrizePicks Pick'em Arena format has come in to Florida, a lot of 3 out of 4 power plays. Now, I've hit some 5Xers, some 10Xers going 4-pick power. But man, it hurts so bad when you get 3 out of 4 right and have nothing to show for it. You're like 75% hit rate on 4 picks and you got nothing to show for it. So if you can flex, I would recommend you flex. If you can't and you're in a position like me, well, you just got to do what you got to do and you got to go for the power. It's 4-0 or you lose. So anyway, let's go. Let's see what we got here. We got Andre Palante. Like I said, he's the top play right now at 3.5 strikeouts. Guys, feel free to take a screenshot of this while you're here. If you want to research some of these plays on your own after I go off the air here, you can go ahead and screenshot these, look into some of these picks. But these are all plus EV picks, meaning the odds are in our favor. The wind is at our back, and we are not going against the grain here. We are going with it because you don't want to go against the odds on a site like PrizePicks where they have a fixed odds format. Okay, this isn't like sleeper, this isn't like parlay play, this isn't like Fliff or your favorite sports book where you get rewarded for going against the grain, for taking a prop at plus odds or plus money. PrizePicks and Underdog, the odds are going to be what they're going to be no matter what's happening out on your favorite sports books. You don't get anything extra for going against the grain. So I would say avoid going against the odds. In other words, like Andre Palante here, over 3.5 strikeouts. Like, yeah, you could take the under on PrizePicks and maybe it hits. Maybe the guy goes for 3 strikeouts or less. But why would you do that when there's no incentive, no reward for you going against the grain on PrizePicks or Underdog? There's literally no logical reason to do that. Okay, so if you're going to do that, if you think Andre Palante sucks and you want to take him on a different site, take him on a different site. Take him on your favorite sports book. Take him on Sleeper. Take him on Parlay Play, somewhere like that where you get rewarded for taking on the extra inherent risk. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Hey, I'm Isaac says he just joined my dub club a week ago and he's up $500. Hey, that sounds like a win to me, my friend. You paid for my car payment this month, brother. Let's go. Isaac, shout out to you. Guys, again, if you want to join the dub club, it's only 67 cents per day. We got a whole bunch of people in there sharing their favorite picks, plays, parlays, favorite slips. All right? It's just a community of people trying to get after the bag. Nothing crazy, but Isaac's having good success, and so I'm glad to hear that. Glad you're finding the community to be worthwhile. It's only $20 a month. I mean, I don't think it's very expensive, but maybe that's just me. All right, Palante, let's add him to the slip. Over 3.5 strikeouts. Guys, if you just want to look at the last 5 games, I mean, like I said, not a super strong strikeout guy. The Cincinnati Reds can be pretty potent offensively. You can see what he's done in his last 5 games. He did face Cincinnati back on May 29th. He's got a recent game against the Cincinnati Reds where he had 4 strikeouts. So he's going to be right around that 3 to 5 strikeout range. This guy very rarely will go above 5 strikeouts, but, against a bad team like the Colorado Rockies, he managed to have 6 Ks in that game. So, yeah, he does have a little bit of upside. He can get going, but we shouldn't expect him to come out and have like 8 to 10 strikeouts. That's just not who he is. He ain't built like that. He ain't built like that, gang. But we'll start with that one because it is the top MLB play on the optimizer right now. Let's refresh it. What else do we have? We've got Jameson Taillon of the Chicago Cubs under 5 pitching strikeouts, which means basically he can hit 5 or fewer. Based on the odds pulled from these sports books, they expect him to have 5 or fewer strikeouts. So we'll add him to the slip. And then once we kind of build out, what I can do is basically 4 at the max. But once we have like 4 solid options, then we can go and kind of check out some projections and stuff on Taillon, see if he's, projecting well, not projecting well, and then kind of decide, are we going to rock with this slip or not? What else do we have? We got Drew Thorpe, another pitcher here, Chicago White Sox. We talked about the Chicago White Sox in terms of this being a bad weather situation. This one may not even play. I'm going to avoid him. Yes, he's popping up high on the optimizer, but no, I don't want to take the risk of this game being postponed. And then my 4 pick goes down to a 3 pick because this guy ends up as a DNP, did not play. So I'm going to skip over Drew Thorpe. Colin Ray would be the next one, Milwaukee Brewers starting pitcher. He's sitting at 4.5 strikeouts. It looks like at 4.5 strikeouts, there's a 53.2% chance that he can go over 4.5 strikeouts. You're seeing some good odds here, especially from a book like Pinnacle. Like I said, the sharpest sports book out there in terms of, where you can bet money. They don't let just any Joe Blow bet money on Pinnacle. So when we say it's the sharpest sports book, they usually just let sharp bettors bet on Pinnacle. So it's good to see that he is a betting favorite to go over 4.5 strikeouts out on Pinnacle. So a 53.2% chance of him going over there. So we'll go ahead and add him. Colin Ray, R-E-A, for more than 4.5 strikeouts. And then what else do we have here up on the board? You got a pitching strikeout combo between J.P. Sears of the Oakland A's, Slade Ciccone. I'm going to say it's Ciccone. I don't know if I'm messing that up. Isn't Ciccone like a shoe brand? Ciccone? I don't know. Maybe he invented the Ciccone shoes or something. Probably not. We got these two guys at 8 strikeouts flat. So some tie or push potential on this one. JP Sears, Slade Ciccone could potentially tie. 53.1% chance, though, for these guys to go over, for them to combine for 8 or more Ks. Let's just add it, and we'll look into it and see if the projection models are liking JP Sears and Slade Ciccone to go over. All right, so there you go. There's 4 picks pulled right off the optimizer. All have favorable odds. All are plus EV plays. And we could dig into these a little bit further. Let's start with Andre Palante at 3.5 strikeouts. For projections, I highly recommend The Bat. The Bat by Derek Carty. This is, for years now, one of the most, if not the most accurate MLB projection model that you're going to find out there. So if you're betting any MLB props, I would highly recommend you check out The Bat. You can find it hosted on EV Analytics. That's the site you see up on the screen right now. Or you can go over to RotoGrinders. RotoGrinders supports it as well. And if you're into playing fantasy scores, RotoGrinders is probably going to be the better option. Right now, EV Analytics does not support PrizePicks fantasy scores, but it has all the other player prop categories and markets that PrizePicks offers. So if you're more into like fantasy score stuff, you might want to buy it over on the RotoGrinder site rather than EV Analytics. But nonetheless, let's go to the strikeout category here. We will take a look at some of these guys, starting with Palante of the St. Louis Cardinals. So take a look at this. He's going up against the Cincinnati Reds, had 4 Ks against them a few starts ago. So this is sort of a recent rematch. Now, typically when it comes to starting pitchers versus a team that they saw recently, typically the hitters have the advantage. I've talked to Derek Carty, the inventor, the creator of the bat, about this subject. And when you have a situation where a pitcher has faced a team recently, usually the advantage goes to the team, the hitters. And the pitcher has sort of a harder time in a recent rematch, so to speak. So that's kind of the situation here for Andre Palante. So he is sitting at 3.5 Ks. You can see that the line was at 4 on PrizePicks, moved down to 3.5, and that's why you're getting this little red arrow here on the EV Analytics screen. But he is projected for 3.73, which is slightly more than 3.5, closer to 4 strikeouts than 3 strikeouts. Is it going to be a nail biter? Is it going to have you sitting on the edge of your seat? Are you going to be sweating? Yes. Probably want to grab a towel. This will probably be one of those props where you're sweating it out, because this guy's maybe going to get you 1K every inning or couple of innings, probably every couple of innings. But let's check a second projection. We're going to go over here to RotoWire, and we'll check out Palante there. We just want to make sure that these are projecting well, all right? That we're not just throwing anything in our entry. We want it to project well as well. He's projected for 3.78 over on RotoWire. If you guys want to try out RotoWire, they actually got a 2-day free all-access pass, no credit card required, no strings attached. Check out the link down in the description of today's video. But he is projected for 3.78. So again, closer to 4 strikeouts than 3 strikeouts. So I'm leaving him in there. We got 2 projections over 3.5. No, they're not overwhelmingly higher than 3.5, but they are higher. So we're going to leave him in there for right now. Jameson Taillon at 5 strikeouts. Again, this one has tie or push potential, meaning he could land on exactly 5 strikeouts today going up against the Milwaukee Brewers. We're looking at taking the under. The odds on the sports books are suggesting we should be taking the under here at 5 Ks. He's being bet up or bet over at 4.5 strikeouts. So they do expect him to go over 4.5. He could land on 5. He could land on 6 and just totally screw us up. But let's check it out here. Jameson Taillon for the Chicago Cubs. Let's run some projections on him. First projection has him at 4.1 Ks, 4.1 strikeouts. Again, the line sitting at 5. So I love that first projection. It's almost 1 strikeout different. The projection on the bat versus the line on PrizePicks at 5. That's a pretty big gap in projection differential there. So I'm okay with that. So far, it looks pretty good. Let's run another projection here on Taillon. Second projection brought to you by RotoWire. RotoWire's got him at 4.71, so a little closer to the 5 strikeout number. So if he ends up at 5, don't be surprised. Okay, I'm telling you, it could tie. It could be one of those props that ends up as a push. Let me refresh this real quick. I want to look at one more projection model. I've got access to a few of them, gang. And so we might as well use them, right? Here's Taillon on Fantasy Labs at 4.4 Ks. Palante, we talked about him. He's sitting at 3.4 on Fantasy Labs, which is, part of Action Labs. So pretty sharp projections on Palante, but once again, Taillon is projected to go under 5 Ks. So there we go. We got Palante, we're leaning toward the over at 3.5, probably going to be sweaty. Taillon under 5, still looks okay at 5. Let's look at Colin Ray next, and then we'll check out JP Sears plus Slade Ciccone at 8 strikeouts combined. All right. Colin Ray, not a big strikeout guy either. I mean, that's why these guys' lines are down at like under 5 Ks, 5 or less Ks, all the guys that we're talking about here, because none of these guys are super high, swing and miss strikeout pitchers. So they're going to kind of nickel and dime their way through 5 or 6 innings. And we'll see if Colin Ray is projecting well or not. In this case, we want him projecting for more than 4.5 Ks. So we're going to go back to the EV analytics here and check it out. 4.33, I don't love that. That is definitely lower than 4.5. For me to take this over at 4.5, I would want him to be projected for closer to like 5 or more Ks. And we're not getting that here. But every projection model is a little bit different. Although I do hold the bat at a higher regard. I put it up on a pedestal because it is the sharpest MLB projection model out there. So I tend to ride with whatever the bat is saying. Here's a second projection, though. It's RotoWire, 4.75 strikeouts. Again, his line is 4.5. So he's just barely projecting over at the 4.5 number. So we got 1 projection under, 1 projection over. Let's see what Fantasy Labs has to say. Maybe we can break this tie here. And Fantasy Labs has him down at 4 Ks as well. So for me, I think I'm going to fade. I think I'm going to remove him. In other words, I'm going to skip Colin Ray for more than 4.5 strikeouts. If he gets it, God bless his little heart, but he's not going to get my money for the over at 4.5. I just can't do it. Projections are not strong enough for me there. Which brings us to our third pick. Well, it was our 4th pick. Now it's our 3rd pick since we kicked Colin Ray off of Player Prop Island here. We got to look at Sears and Ciccone. We want them to go for more than 8 Ks. Let's see how these guys are projecting. So let's start with Ciccone. Is he on here? Slade. There he is. 4.8 is the projection for Slade. And then Sears is projecting for, we'll call it 4. We'll round that up and call it 4. So that does put them over a combined 8 Ks. So first projection, which is the bat, likes both of these guys. Let's go back over here to RotoWire real quick. They got him projected for 5.38. Slade Ciccone, 5.38. Really hope I'm saying his name right. I'd hate to butcher the young man's name. JP Sears, 3.64. So again, a combined projection of more than 8Ks. So I think the over is looking fine. It's a plus EV play for the over. And both of these guys happen to be projecting over when you combine their strikeout projections together. 4.7 for Slade here, and then Sears is projected for 4.6. So again, putting these guys over a combo of 8K. So I'm going to leave them in there. So here's what we got so far. Andre Pallante, over 3.5Ks. We got Jamison Taillon under 5Ks. And then we got JP Sears and Slade Cecconi for more than 8Ks combined. And I don't think any of these games have any weather concerns or weather issues. Nope, everything looks pretty good. I think if there's any rain in the Cincinnati-St. Louis game, it'll probably happen long after Pallante's already out of the game. So I'm not mad at taking the over if you want to take a shot on Pallante over 3.5Ks because the weather doesn't look too bad there. Let's refresh the optimizer. All right, looking back here. Again, we're avoiding Drew Thorpe, the Chicago White Sox, because that game has probably the most sketchy weather situation of any of the games that are out there today. So I'm staying away from that one. Jose Quintana was somebody at 3.5Ks that I did take an over on in a previous entry. He's still sitting out there at 3.5Ks. If you wanted to go Jose Quintana over 3.5, I don't mind it. He is projecting well over on the bat. I think the bat has Jose Quintana for more than 3.5. Yeah, they got him at 4.16. So I like that projection. Houston's not a real high strikeout rate team typically. It depends on who they're going to start tonight against Quintana, but the projections are looking pretty decent at 4.1 projected Ks. Again, the line is 3.5. I've already used him in one entry. I don't want to use him again, but that is another one that you should probably think about putting in a slip. If you're looking for another option, you could go there. Harrison Bader over 0.5 total bases. So here's the catch with Harrison Bader. He's typically at the end of the order, end of the lineup for the New York Mets. And the problem with Harrison Bader is this. There's some games where Harrison Bader only gets 2 at-bats, and then they pinch hit for him. I've seen it happen time and time again. I have taken Harrison Bader under things like 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, knowing that he's at the end of the order and that he gets pinch hit for quite often. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. We're going to pull up Outlier. Guys, Outlier is a great tool for all your player prop research needs. If you're not using Outlier and you want to try it out, 7-day free trial. Check it out down in the description of today's video. You can run it for 7 days. No problem whatsoever. All right, let's look at Harrison Bader here. Now, this is his hits, runs, and RBIs, but let's just look at the total bases. There you go. 62% hit rate of him going for 1 or more total base. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, what is a total base? What constitutes a total base? How does a player earn a base? Well, there's only one way that a player can earn a base, and it's with his stick. That's right. He's got to swing that wood, gang. He's got to swing that lumber. You cannot earn a total base by being walked. You cannot earn a total base by being hit by a pitch. You cannot earn a total base by stealing a base. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to hit the ball with your bat to earn a total base. So you hit a single, that's 1 total base. You hit a double, that's 2 total bases. You hit a triple, that's 3 total bases. You get the drift, right? Now, Harrison Bader has been on fire as far as total bases go. So is this a potential trap? I don't know, maybe, but he is showing good form here. 6 total bases in his last game, 5 the previous game, 4 the game before that. So he's having a nice little series here. Nice little series so far. Let's go down and take a look at what I was telling you, though. Plate appearances is something that you have to be concerned about with this guy because there are some games, some days where he only gets 2 at-bats or 2 plate appearances. You can see that there was a string of games here where he's only gotten 2. Some games he only gets 1. He's probably, in that case, a pinch hitter in those games where he's only getting 1 at-bat or plate appearance. Now, if he's going to get 4 to 5 plate appearances, then I like us taking a shot at him. hitting the ball, getting on base at least once. A single is all it takes. Now, his numbers against right-handed batters, pretty darn good. Or right-handed pitchers are pretty darn good. You could see his average for the season, 275. You could see his average against righties, 310. 310 this season against right-handed pitchers. And what is Ronel Blanco of the Houston Astros? Well, he is a right-handed pitcher, my friends. So I think there's a good argument for us taking Harrison Bader for over one total base or 0.5 total bases. He needs one total base to go over. So this could be another worthwhile option for us to take. Let's go add him to the slip. We haven't added any hitters yet. Typically, I like taking unders on hitting props, but I'm okay with us taking a stab at a guy who has, good recent form, good recent success, has good success against right-handed pitchers. It is one of the PrizePicks popular plays. So some of you who have bad juju, bad vibes about PrizePicks in these popular plays tabs or categories, you may want to avoid this one. But things are looking decent here for Harrison Bader. Does it project well, though? Is he projected to do well? Let's go to the total base category and find out. Bader is projecting for 0.72 total bases. So again, closer to one total base than none, which is what you want to see, right? Let's check a second projection for Bader. We'll go over here to RotoWire. RotoWire, loving some Harrison Bader. You can see that they are leaning toward more or over on Harrison Bader here. If you open up the view full breakdown, you get this little lovely card that pops up. He is projected for 1.32 total bases today. So 2 solid projections for Harrison Bader. If you average them together, let's just say we take the 0.7, whatever it was on the bat, and we put it with the 1.32, you have an average of about 1 total base, which is exactly what he needs for him to go over and cash you out. So it's a plus EV play. It is projecting well. Pretty good juice here, even on a sports book, sharp sports book like Pinnacle. They've got him at, a minus 135 to go over, 0.5 total bases. So I think he absolutely deserves a spot or deserves some consideration in your entry. What do you guys think? You rocking with Harrison Bader, or are you feeling some type of way because Harrison Bader's in the popular tabs category? Do you guys ever play any picks that are in the popular tabs category, a popular plays category on the PrizePicks board? Do you guys ever play them and see if they actually hit or not? I know some people avoid them. If a play comes through and it's a popular play on the PrizePicks board, some people will just fade it because they don't like the fact that it's a popular play. What do you guys think? PrizePicks does DNP if the hitter doesn't have more than 2 plate appearances. So if we took Bader for more than 0.5 total bases, he only had two plate appearances or 2 at-bats, he would qualify for a DNP or a reboot, the reboot system. Yeah, good question, King. Because I did show that sometimes he only has 1-2 plate appearances in him. Yes, that is something that PrizePicks will do. They will reboot a hitter if he only has 2 plate appearances or at-bats or fewer. Okay? So, yeah, that is a good point. All right, so, here's a 4-pick. For me, these days, with me only being able to do power plays, I've kept my unit size right around $10. Risk 10 to win 100. Like I said, I've had so many go 3 out of 4. We've got 2 props that are in here that could potentially tie or push in Tyon or this combo of Sears and Saccone. But I'm going to go ahead and throw my $10 unit size at this 4-pick power play. Again, I have to power because I live in Florida. They don't offer flex in Florida. So if you are somewhere where they do offer flex, I would recommend you add 1 more pick, maybe 2 more picks to these 4, and then hit the flex option. So that way, if you get 4 out of 5 right, or you get 5 out of 6 right, or even if you get 3 out of 5, or if you get 4 out of 6 right, you get some money back. Getting some money back goes a long way. When you're placing multiple slips per day over 365 days in a year, those little 0.4x partial payouts, those 2x partial payouts, they add up. Hundreds and hundreds of slips, it adds up, gang. So I recommend flexing when possible. Again, I can't. I have to power. If you don't mind taking the risk of going with a 4-pick power like I have to do, well, then go for it. Oh, would you look at that? The power of the people. How many people were watching? Just 67 people watching right now. And Harrison Bader was just ripped from the board. Harrison Bader just got taken down. We got some Bader haters over at PrizePicks. They took Harrison Bader down, the total bases. All right. Well, I got it. What about you? Those of you who are watching live, did you get it? Hopefully you got it. And hopefully he comes through for us. So they just took Harrison Bader gone. He's down. All right. So let's clear the slate. We got 4 picks already in. Let's see. What else did I play here? So we had those 4 that I just dropped. If you could get Harrison Bader on a different app, maybe you got to go over to Underdog. Maybe you got to go over to one of these other PrizePicks alternatives. Go take him over there. No big deal. What else did I play? I played Corey Seager under 0.5 walks. Here's some other options. I'm giving you some other options. I sent these out to Dub Club earlier this morning. Miguel Rojas, less than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Vlad Guerrero, less than 1.5 total bases. Ahmed Rosario, less than 1.5 total bases. Again, these are all projecting favorably. These are all plus EV plays. If you know me, if you watch my content before, I don't play anything unless it's a plus EV play and it's got some good projections behind it. That's the name of the game for me. Otherwise, I'm typically not playing it because it just logically doesn't make any sense to play something else. We mentioned Jose Quintana earlier. Those of you who have been watching since the start of the stream, we talked about Jose Quintana over 3.5 Ks. He is one of the plus EV options. He is projecting well today. So yes, I did take him in an earlier entry. And we got a couple of other guys that are, push potential candidates here. Zach Eflin projecting well for more than 4 Ks. Frankie Montas going up against the St. Louis Cardinals, projecting for more than 4 Ks. And then you say Kikuchi. I say Kikichi. No, I don't know. 5 Ks, more than 5 Ks for Kikuchi. That one could be a little bit sweaty. Is that how you say his name? Kikuchi? Is this man's last name really Coochie? Anyway, hopefully we're Gucci with Coochie and he comes through with at least 5 Ks for us so we can push or better. All right. Yeah, Bader's gone, Yosemite. They absolutely ripped Bader down off the board. Some Bader haters over at PrizePicks. Should we build another slip? Should we build another entry? You guys let me know. I'm trying to keep these at an hour or less. We're about, 15 to 20 more minutes. If you guys want me to build another entry, build another slip, let me know. Hit the like button too. We got 59 people watching. We only got 27 likes. Can we get the likes up to about 50? Let me know, gang. Let me know. Caesar, don't sweat Bader. We'll find another Bader replacement for you. We can find another Bader replacement, another prop that we could put in place for Bader. Don't worry about it, Caesar. Plenty of other options. Wyatt's talking about some WNBA. WNBA did me dirty last night, man. Dirty last night. WNBA for me, there's just not a lot of great data behind the WNBA yet. Is it getting better? Is it better than it was last season? Yeah, it is. It's starting to gain popularity. Obviously, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and everything that's going on with the WNBA is bringing more eyeballs, more attention to WNBA from a betting perspective. So I think that you'll see tools and data and projections and stuff like that start to sharpen up. as a result of the growing popularity of the WNBA. But like right now, I mean, it's still a little, it's a little crazy right now. It's a little immature, the WNBA data. But we're going to keep this stream MLB. I might send some WNBA out for Dub Club members later. So if you're not in Dub Club yet and you want to join the Dub Club, guys, Dub Club, like I said, 67 cents per day. It's pretty inexpensive. I mean, you win one $10 two-pick power play over the course of an entire month, and your Dub Club fee of $20, it pays for itself. So, I mean, I don't know how to make it any, cheaper, easier. So Dub Club link, I just dropped it in the live chat. If you guys want to join Dub Club, 67 cents per day. I mean, it's pretty darn affordable. What's that? Less than $5 or something like that a week. I don't know. However you want to break the math out. But yeah, we send more picks, plays, and parlays. Myself, other people in the community have their channels set up as well. And so, we're just all trying to get after the bag, trying to get to it. So I might send some WNBA out later if I find anything worth taking. But we got about 15 more minutes. Let's try to build out a second 4-pick. Let's try to build out a second slip here. 4-pick, or if you want to add some of the other picks that I already mentioned earlier, you could do that as well. Let's go back to the optimizer here. Let's refresh because they took Bader down. We've already played Tyon. He's at a 54.3% chance of 5 or fewer Ks now. We've got Andre Palante already in there. Extreme OG, sub to the channel. Thank you, Extreme OG. Appreciate you subbing to the channel. Who else we got here? We got Joey Loperfido of the Houston Astros at 0.5 total bases. Pinnacle minus 134, betting favorite for him to have at least one total base. Interesting. Let's add him in there. It is a plus EV play. Loperfido. Going up against the New York Mets, which is who? Jose Quintana, right? All right. So we'll add Joey Loperfido. What else do we have here on the optimizer that's popping up? Dakota Hudson for under 5.5 hits allowed. Let me tell you why this one's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting because we talked about earlier the weather from this game. The Colorado Rockies are visiting the Chicago White Sox. Our weather guy here, Kevin Roth of RotoGrinders, says that it's most definitely going to rain. He doesn't know yet what the plan is. If it's a late start, if they start it, possibly delay it at some point, try to wait through the rain, get the whole game in tonight. Or they might just say, we're not playing at all tonight. The weather looks too bad, and we're going to postpone this game and make it up on a different day. So there's a couple different routes that this Colorado Rockies, Chicago White Sox game could go. But why I'm interested in Dakota Hudson, under 5.5 hits allowed, is because it's an under and it's not an over. Now, if we were thinking about taking the over on Dakota Hudson in a game that could potentially lead to a rain delay where Hudson may not get his full reps, pitch count, innings pitched, etc., where he might show up for 2 to 3 innings, huge rain delay, doesn't come back in typically when there's a big rain delay. They usually go to the bullpen at that point. I'm okay with maybe taking Dakota Hudson here under 5.5 hits allowed due to Mother Nature possibly rearing its head. Now, this game, again, could be a postponement. We may not even see Dakota Hudson and the Colorado Rockies take the field against the Chicago White Sox. So this could be a potential DNP in your entry as well. But it is kind of interesting here, being that it is an under. We did this the other day with a different prop. It was a pitching strikeout combo. I think it was Luis Gil and somebody else, Sean Manaea. I think they were a pitching strikeout combo. We talked about the weather could potentially be an issue in that game. It did end up raining. Both pitchers did not get the full reps. And so the under was basically like a free square, thanks to Mother Nature downpouring. And we took the under in a bad weather situation. So that's a strategy that you guys should tuck away for future games. If there's a game that could potentially have a weather or rain delay, take unders. Take more unders from games like that, especially on starting pitchers. What else we got here? Luke Miley of the Cincinnati Reds. I don't know how you say this guy's name. He is taking on the aforementioned Andre Palante, and he's at 0.5 total bases. So again, he's got to use his baseball bat. If he gets at least one hit, if he gets on base, then this is a green square for us. So we'll add him as well. So I know some of you missed out on Harrison Bader, but there are other options here that you can go with. Let's see. Let's add this guy, Luke Miley. Is he still up on the board for 0.5 total bases? Yes, he is. These are very boomer bust props. Again, it seems easy, right? Get one hit, Joey Loperfido. Get one hit, Luke Miley, right? Get one hit. No big deal, right? Hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things you could do in life, in sports. Even the best hitters in the world only have success about 30% of the time. And so while it seems easy, all that glitters ain't always gold, gang. But we're going to look at these a little bit closer. We'll add some projections to them and see if it makes any sense to take the overs on these guys. Let's keep going through the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. Rafael Devers, under 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Almost a 53% chance that he stays under 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Guy's been swinging one of the hotter bats in baseball lately. Yeah, I'm a little concerned with taking the under on him at 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Hits, runs, and RBIs are kind of like your points, rebounds, and assists for NBA. It's a combination of those three individual categories. They put them all together. And so whether the hit is a home run, whether it's a single, whether it's a triple, it doesn't matter. A hit is a hit. A run is a run, and an RBI is an RBI. You get 1 point essentially for each one of those things, hits, runs, or RBIs that this young man accounts for. So do I want to take the under on him? I mean, I don't feel great about it just at the surface value, surface level there, but we'll add him in and we'll look at the projections for Rafi Devers. Like I said, been doing very well with the baseball bat. Tentatively, we'll set him at an under or a less at 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Let's see if we could get one more play to look at. Somebody had mentioned Kyle Tyler. Kyle Tyler of the Miami Marlins, under 5.5 hits allowed. Was that King? I think it was King. That might have been King that had mentioned that. I'm looking through the chat. I thought it was. I don't know. I don't see it anymore. But anyway, Kyle Tyler was another one that I did remember someone mentioning. Under 5.5 hits allowed. So 5 or fewer hits allowed, and we're in good shape here. Let's add him to the slip and just kind of dig into this one a little bit more. Kyle Tyler. Why is that such a weird name to say? Kyle Tyler. He's taking on the Phillies. Ooh. We know the Phillies have a pretty potent offense between Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper. They got some bats. So I'm a little iffy on that one. Just, again, at a surface level value. But let's take a look at some of the projections on these, starting with our total base guys. These guys need 1 hit or 1 total base, and then they could cash for us. So Joey Loperfido, let's start with him. We're going to go back over to the total base category on the bat. Loperfido, 0.76. So kind of like our guy Bader. Is he still? Yeah. 0.72 was the projection for Bader. For those of you that missed Bader, maybe Loperfido is a fine pivot or alternative. He does bat 9th in the order, meaning he's going to be at the tail end of the order for the Houston Astros, taking on Jose Quintana of the New York Mets. So he should get 4 at-bats unless they pinch hit for him at some point. But the projection is actually slightly higher than Harrison Bader at 0.76. So there's that one. And who is the other guy? What's his name? Jake from State Farm? No. Luke. There you go. Another white guy named. No, it wasn't Luke. What was that guy's name? I thought it was Luke. It is Luke. He's not showing up. Let's refresh. Maybe they just added him. Luke. No, still not showing up. Weird. No projection for Luke. Let's look up his projection over here then on RotoWire. Luke is not projecting great. 0.42. Not loving that. Not loving that low projection for him. I'm going to kick him out. Don't love that. What about Loperfido? He's looking pretty good. Projection-wise. 1.23. He could stay. He's welcome to come to the cookout. We'll leave Joey Loperfido in there, but I'm going to kick that other guy out. I didn't like his last name anyway. Rafael Devers at 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Let's run the projections on him real quick. Devers. Like I said, Devers has been really hot. Swinging a hot ball bat, but he's projected for just 2.4 hits, runs, and RBIs today, putting him under the 2.5 number, closer to 2 hits, runs, and RBIs than 3. So the projection models, who are a lot sharper, a lot smarter than they like the under on Rafi Devers here at 2.4 projected hits, runs, and RBIs. So that's not terrible. I actually like that based on the projection, solely on the projection. Let's see here. 2.66 projected hits, runs, and RBIs over on RotoWire. It's a little higher than 2.5, but it's not 3.6 or anything crazy. So we could go Devers under 2.5. Yeah, it's a little scary. It's a little risky, but I mean, the guy's not going to go over every single game, right? I mean, there's going to be a game or two once in a while where he goes under. He did go over in his last 2 games. Let's pull him up here on Outlier real quick. Bink. Pull him up on Outlier, see what he's been doing here. All right, so 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Only a 40% hit rate this season of going over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So 60% of the time, a majority of the time, he's actually staying under 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He does have back-to-back games with 5 and 7 hits, runs, and RBIs. But again, there's going to be games, maybe tonight's one of them, where he's not going to have success. He's going up against Vasquez. I don't know him from Adam. Don't know if he's a good pitcher, bad pitcher. He could be the shits for all I know. Let's look at how Devers does against right-handed pitchers. 46% hit rate. In other words, him going over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So still not great. 54% of the time he's going under 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I don't think he's got not much historical success against Vasquez, or very small sample size. 2 plate appearances against Vasquez in his career. 1 hit, and it was for a home run. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna test it. Watch him go under, but I'm gonna leave it alone. So we're down to 2 picks. Let's look at Kyle Tyler real quick. We're trying to build out a second slip. I know we're running up against 12 o'clock here, but I'm okay with that. We'll go into overtime if we have to go into overtime. Kyle Tyler projecting for 5.45 hits allowed. They expect him to go about 81 pitches tonight. Now, typically, most of the managers for professional baseball teams, they like to try to get at least 5 innings out of their starting pitcher, unless it's a scheduled bullpen game. In that case, a starting pitcher might go 2-3 innings, and then they go to the bullpen, and they're basically cycling through guys all game long. 3 to 4 to 5 different pitchers in a bullpen game. I don't know if this is going to be a bullpen game for the Miami Marlins. Don't know much about Kyle Tyler. His pitch count is pretty low. Maybe they expect him to go just a few innings. I couldn't tell you. But he is projected to go for less than 5.5 hits allowed. So the first projection's looking pretty good here. Let's check another one. Kyle Tyler's hits allowed. This is a RotoWire projection. They've got him at 4.71 hits allowed going up against the Phillies. So let's just trust the projections, trust the models, and we'll keep Kyle Tyler in there. We'll see what's good with Kyle Tyler. See if he's, terrible. He might be terrible. I mean, the Phillies are tough. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Well, we'll leave him in there. Let's refresh the optimizer. Anything else that's standing out? Zach Plesac at 3Ks for over. Maybe. We could maybe go there. 3 or more Ks. Let's check him out real quick. We'll add him to the slip. What else do we have? We're not touching Luke. We're not messing with Rafi. Logan Webb for under 6.5 hits allowed. That's not a bad look. 53, almost a 53% chance for him to hit. Minus 133 betting favorite to go under 6.5 hits allowed on Pinnacle, which is what we like to see. I always, like I said, put Pinnacle above all these other books because Pinnacle, very picky, very particular about who they let bet on their books. So, yeah, let's look at Logan Webb under 6.5 hits allowed. That might be a viable fourth pick here. Appreciate everybody who's still here, rocking with me, the almost 60 people. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share the live stream, share the channel with somebody who's betting on baseball over the summer. I'm going to do more and more of these live streams over the summer, and hopefully it leads to more winning lineups for you guys out there. Let's look at these last two picks, though. Zach Plesac for 3 or more Ks. Logan Webb for less than 6.5 hits allowed. Starting with Zach. Is the Zach on the attack today for at least 3 Ks? This smells like one that could potentially push. I mean, he's going up against the Tigers. We've seen the Tigers absolutely light teams up. They've got some sneaky good bats, some sneaky good hitters in that Detroit Tigers lineup. Plesac is projected for a 3.31 strikeout projection today, so not a super strong, overwhelming projection for the over, but it is slightly more than 3. Let's check him out over here. Plesac on RotoWire projected for 3.78, healthier projection for him there, closer to 4 in that case. We'll check one more projection. We'll go back over here to Fantasy Labs. They got him at 3.8. Okay. I'm feeling a little bit better then. We'll leave Plesac in there. Now, what about Logan Webb under 6.5 hits allowed? Logan Webb's been a guy who has bled some hits to opposing teams. So let's go Webb. Again, this is Outlier. If you guys want to try Outlier out, 7-day risk-free trial down in the description of today's video. Great tool for all of your player prop research needs. So we're looking at the under 6.5 hits allowed for Logan Webb 2024 season, this season. Here's what you're looking at. He has stayed under 6.5 hits allowed in 53% of the games in which he's appeared. Now, matchups are everything, so take the hit rates with a grain of salt. I mean, you got to look at everything in a vacuum. Who's the team that Webb is facing today? What happened a week ago, 5 months ago, it doesn't matter as much as what is going to happen today or what could potentially happen today. Who's the matchup in front of him, in other words? And it's a tough one. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers. They've got Ohtani. They've got Freddie Freeman. But let's take a look here a little bit closer. The Los Angeles Dodgers versus right-handed pitching. Their numbers are starting to slide or dip just a little bit from where they were, which is not good news for Webb. I take that back. So they were they had a 246 batting average against right-handed pitching for the season, which is 9th ranked. I guess their average has gone up, slightly up. So not much of a change, not much of a difference. Their K rate or K percentage against right-handed pitchers, we're going to get nerdy here. Bear with me. 22% K rate against right-handed pitchers for the season, which ranked 15th, put them kind of like middle of the league. Over the last 30 days, striking out less at a less hit rate. So 19.7% K rate over the last 30 days. So they've improved against right-handed pitchers. There we go. That makes more sense. Interesting. Logan Webb is a good ground ball pitcher. I will say that. So, I mean, if you could get these guys to ground out, that would be lovely. Let's just go to the projections. Let's look and see what Logan Webb's projecting for today. 6.32 projected hits allowed. Pitch count's looking at like 97, so this should be a full game here for Logan Webb. 6.32 projected hits allowed, so that puts him under 6.5 by a smidge. Not by a lot, but by a smidge. Second projection, again, brought to you by RotoWire. 2-day all-access free pass to RotoWire down in the description of today's video. Click that special link. No credit card required. No strings attached. Try out RotoWire for yourself. This dashboard that they've built is awesome, and they just released a mobile app for both iOS and Android. So very cool stuff that they're doing over at RotoWire. But 4.93 projected hits allowed, which is very impressive for a guy whose line is set at 6.5. So I'm not mad at that. I'm going to leave him in there. I don't have any exposure to Logan Webb yet. I know it's the Dodgers, but I'm cool with it. Like I said, I'm sticking to $10 units. Whatever your unit size, go ahead and risk that accordingly. I'm in Florida. I have to play power plays only. 4-pick power plays are like the third most optimal or EV lineup size, entry size on PrizePicks. If you're in a state where you can flex, which is most of you out there, 5-pick or 6-pick flex, add a pick onto these 4 and flex it. Add 2 picks onto these 4 and flex it. But we've got Loperfido for 1 total base. More than 0.5 total bases. Kyle Tyler for less than 5.5 hits allowed. Zach Plesac for 3 or more Ks, hopefully. Logan Webb for less than 6.5 hits allowed. So there's 4 picks. Now you could take those 4 picks and you could add, some of these other picks that we talked about earlier. Andre Palante over 3.5 pitching strikeouts. Jamison Taillon for 5 or less pitching strikeouts. This combination of Sears and Saccone for more than 8 pitching strikeouts. So you could build out a 5-pick flex, a 6-pick flex with these. Or maybe you want to just go for something that's more attainable, like a 2-pick power play. Here are some of the other ones that I sent out to Dub Club members earlier in the day. If any of these are still up on the board, they're all projecting well. They're all plus EV plays. Seager under 0.5 walks. Miguel Rojas for less than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Vlad Guerrero Jr. for under 1.5 total bases. Ahmed Rosario for under 1.5 total bases. Zach Eflin for less than 4 strikeouts. More. Zach Eflin for more than 4 strikeouts. Frankie Montas for more than 4 strikeouts. Jose Quintana for more than 3.5 strikeouts. And you say Kikuchi. I say Kikichi for more than 5 pitcher strikeouts. So those are some other options. That's 4, 8, 12, 16 picks. What do you think, gang? I think our work here is done for the day. Now, obviously, this is gambling. Nothing's guaranteed. Bet responsibly. Risk what you can afford to lose. Hopefully they hit. If they don't, well, then the projections just let us down today. The odds let us down today. But I put my money on it. Hopefully you saw some stuff that you liked and maybe you bet on something as well. Good luck to you if you did. Good luck to us. And I appreciate everybody's love and support. Share the channel. Share the live stream. Share the videos. Hit a like on your way out. And those of you in Dub Club and those of you in Discord, I'll be sending out more picks, plays, parlays as I find them throughout the day. Just drop the link to Dub Club if you want to join up. 67 cents per day. You get a 3-day free trial. And then it's as little as $20 a month. $5 a week, gang. I think you can afford it. Good luck on all your picks, plays, parlays. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.